Hello, friend. This is Ryan Hicks of TalkToProfit.com, and today I'm going to talk to you about No More Mr. Nice Guy. This is a common trope of sorts, a meme, that there's these nice guys and they finish last, they lose. And some of that is because they've done a number of studies on people who are quote-unquote nice guys. And this applies to women too, so don't misunderstand, it's only applying to women. Women, I've heard it phrased in regards to supposed nice guy women as being people pleasers. It's kind of basically the same thing. A little bit different motives though, but the same basic idea. But it's that you're trying to avoid conflict, you're trying to avoid problems, and this is seen to be nice. Oftentimes this arises from a man or a woman having an abusive childhood or something like that where there's a lot of problems. And so they're trying to be the opposite of the father or the mother they saw that was so negative. But oftentimes this nice guy persona, this people pleaser persona, is nothing more than a show. It is trying to be something that they're not. And here's the important thing, it's something you don't need to be. This idea of false niceness is not being positive. It's not being kind. It is a complete mistake, and it's almost like you're seeing somebody, if you know something, if you have a skill, and you hear somebody doesn't know it, and they're trying to pretend like they're an expert at it, and you hear all the flaws in what they're describing and how they're doing it and how they're saying it, where it's readily apparent to somebody who is an expert that this person doesn't know what they're talking about. And that's very much the way it is with the nice guy persona. Being nice is great, but this is a different idea where people are trying to get something. Because you boil down a lot of these people who are nice and just trying to please people, they are being nice to get something back. They're not just giving out of the niceness and kindness of their heart. It is out of a desire for something to be received in return. And oftentimes they don't get it, and this breeds resentment. This is why so many people like this at their heart are angry. And they're allowing a root of bitterness to spring up in them. And this shouldn't be the case, my friend. You can be positive, but you have to understand that you need to be strong in the Lord. You need to be bold in your faith. This means at times you'll have to say no to people. Now, oftentimes that can be misunderstood as, well, if I'm letting people down if I tell them no. No, you're not. You don't have to do everything anyone ever asks or says to you. That's not being nice. That's being run over. And that's not walking in the faith of the Lord. You could certainly help people and do good things, and you should. You should never be weary in well-doing. But you want to make sure your well-doing is from a place of true kindness and love, just flowing from your heart, not out of a need to get something back from somebody, not out of a need to appear nice. You should never do something because you want to look nice. You want to look good. That's completely the wrong reasons. You shouldn't even do it because you want to please people. First and foremost, you please God, and then secondly, you please yourself. Now that's not to be selfish, it's not to be arrogant, it's not to be only self-conceited and only thinking about yourself. It's to understand that your life is not here to be lived to just do other people's biddings. There are certainly times that you sacrifice yourself, you do kind acts, you do works worthy of respect and honor of God that bring glory to God. But this does not mean you become in the role of a servant, just blindly doing whatever somebody asks of you because you got to be nice, you got to be people-pleasing. That only leads to disastrous failure, and it's not done from the pure heart that can actually bring about the best results. Oftentimes when you're helping these people, being this nice guy or being this people pleaser, you're actually hurting them. Maybe they need you to tell them no. You know, the world will go both ways and try to get you to be a nice guy, get you to be a people pleaser. And then when you are, then it mocks you as, oh, nice guys finish last. You know, for the young man, he's battling this dilemma of, why do these beautiful women that he's interested in, always pick jerks. That's a meme of sorts, that they don't like the nice guy. They like the bad boy. They like the guy that treats them bad. Well, that's not true, but they misunderstand it that way because they see a man who stands up for himself. He doesn't even have to be aggressive or angry or mean at all. He just says no to things he doesn't want to do. And they see that as not being nice. They see that guy as being a jerk. What do you mean he didn't want to go there with you? What a jerk. I would go there with you. But see, that's that idea where you're trying to be something to get something back. The man or woman that's confident in themselves, confident in the Lord, walking boldly in faith, can say no to something and understand that there's no ill intent behind it, and that they're still good people. They're still walking in beauty and holiness and love and peace. They don't have to rush out to do whatever somebody else wants to do, even when they don't want to do it, simply to fulfill this quota of being a nice guy or of people pleasing. And you'll have an issue in life trying to be successful, running around to and fro, importantly, never pleasing God, because you're trying to please everybody else. And success is very hard to attain when you're busy working on everybody else's business. You're doing everything for everybody else. You're crippling them, you're paralyzing them from doing their own activity and becoming successful because they got you to always fall back on. You're always doing the thing for them. This doesn't mean you don't help people. This doesn't mean you don't step in if somebody has a need. But if you're always that nice guy, always people pleasing, always stopping from doing the right thing to just do something nice because you want something in return, that will never lead to success. And it will lead you to always be miserable in your relationships. Whoever you're with, friend or family, it's going to be a problem. And you're going to feel unfulfilled because you're always doing these nice things, expecting something in return. And you may say, well, shouldn't I expect something in return? If I do something nice, shouldn't they do something nice back? Maybe. But maybe you just do it out of the kindness and purity of your heart, expecting nothing in return. And because of that, you actually start getting more reciprocal love in return. You sow more seeds of love and you get more of a harvest of love in return. But see, the nice person that's just strictly nice on the surface level isn't sowing seeds of love. They're sowing seeds of feigning niceness in order to try to get something in return. And it could look very similar on the surface, but it is completely different in the heart. And my friend, we need to be walking in purity. If you want to have success in life, you need to try to provide more value for your customer. You want to have success in your relationships, you need to be a person of character and love. Someone who at times will have to say no to things. But because you're doing it from a pure heart, no one's offended by it. No one's angry by it. And if you have people who are angry because you said no, who are sulking and mad at you and not talking to you because you said no to something, those are not friends. Those are people who are just using you. And this is not to be ever mistaken as an excuse to not do good. You should never be weary in well-doing. You should always be doing good. You should always be blessing and being a light. But understand from your heart, being led by the Lord, that still small voice giving you the wisdom and understanding of what you need to do. There will be times you need to say no. Don't go against that. Don't say, well, I don't want to be seen as mean. I don't want to be seen as a jerk. You're not. And if somebody misinterprets that and sees you that way, that's on them. That's not on you. You're doing things from a pure heart. You're doing things from a righteous state. And then you can have more productive relationships. Your business relationships will take off because you will have people that understand this is a person I can depend on. This is a person who stands up for themselves. Nobody wants a weak person that bends every which way because they're trying to please everyone. You'll never be entrusted with greater success if you're that person, because that person doesn't get good results because they're always going along with somebody else. And other people have different motives. and they're going different directions. You can't go both directions, so you end up going nowhere. And this must be stressed again. And that's still, that niceness is still not being loving. It's not being kind. It's not walking in purity. It's not being a righteous man. It's not being a righteous woman. You can be kind. You can be loving. You can be even nice, so to speak. But it must be done from a pure heart of love. And it must be done with boundaries that you know if there's something you don't want to do, you just don't do it. And you say that. And you don't have to make excuses. You don't have to justify why you don't want to do something, because you are being led by the Spirit. And that's what's most important. And you do all things pleasing unto the Lord. If other people don't like it, that's all right. Your concern, if you want to please anybody, is pleasing the Lord, because His concern is always on your goodness. He's always blessing. He's always kind. He's always merciful. He's always wanting you to prosper, and He delights in the prosperity of His servant. So if you're focused on Him, obeying Him and following Him, bringing glory to Him, your life is going to unfold in one of treasures and blessings and love and peace and righteousness and joy forevermore. My friend, I pray this is a blessing for you. May God bless you richly.